Say goodbye, Jeep.
Goodbye, Jeep.
Hello, my friends. Welcome to the metal shop. It's a momentous day here for me in the metal shop. Bye, George. Thank you for participating. As you saw in the opening pictures, the opening to this video, the Jeep is gone. And I apologize to my faithful subscribers that will have loved the Jeep and have subscribed to my channel for the Jeep. But it's time. It's come and went. And I actually traded the Jeep straight up for basically my dream car, something that I've wanted since I was a small boy. And I just could not pass up this opportunity. So, oops, pressed the wrong button. Nice job. It is a 427SC Cobra Replica. This is just my dream car. Like I said, I've wanted one of these since I read my first Road and Track when I was probably like 5 or 6 years old. My dad used to get it and I was like, what is that? It's just, in my opinion, I'm a Ford guy. You guys know that. This is just one of the most beautiful cars ever made. And they took the 289 AC, which was, decent looking, and they had to make this thing more muscular and more aggressive to fit much bigger tires and to go with a bigger engine. They stuffed the 427 in there, and they just came upon one of the most beautiful designs in history. So I found a guy who was selling this on Facebook Marketplace, said he was open to trades, offered to trade him the Jeep straight up for it. Super nice guy from Maine, about 6 hours away from me here, and we made a deal. He was asking $14,500 for this, which was honestly a very, very good price. I mean, the kit this is a $16,000 kit. We'll get into that later, not even to include, the shipping to his location. And that didn't include, the wheels and the tires that this came with. This has an engine and a transmission that I'll be getting into a little bit more. So it's not, if you're ranking your replicas out there, I would rank, the ERA Cobras are probably the very best. Super performance, excellent. Backdraft, right up there. Then you get, your Factory 5, your builder kits. This is a Street Beast. Now, Street Beast gets some pretty bad press. The company has gone out of business, but at the time, for the day, this company, was founded, I'm going to say in the early 90s, I think late 80s, early 90s. If you Google them, there's, other than a lot of the bad press you'll get about them, and that happens. When a company starts to go out of business, when they're failing at the end, kits are going out with missing parts, phone calls aren't getting returned, parts are being made substandard, people realize they're going to lose their job. That happens. That happened to those guys that were making the Eleanor GT500 copies out in Texas, who were, making $150,000, $200,000 cars. Same thing. People taking deposits, people are losing their money. That's just the nature of free enterprise in the United States. But I digress. Anyway, so Street Beasts, but like I said, if you Google them, you'll find a Hot Rod magazine did a tour of their facility, and they had, bodies, and they make a Ford Vicky replica. They make, some different coupes, this and that. You can see what they offered. But they had bodies stacked, floor to ceiling in that place. And they probably had 35 or 40 employees back in their heyday. And they made an excellent product. And when you take the body off this and you look at the frame is very, very, very similar, almost an exact duplicate to what ERA is making. If you look at the behind the scenes of the Superformance, the South African company, they make their frames the same way with the square tubing. This is a good product overall, I believe. The chassis, it's a good chassis. The fiberglass is excellent. I'm very, very happy with that. This does, this has a Mustang 2 based front suspension, which isn't ideal. It's pretty much the industry standard for years in hot rods. It's gone away from that. It does have, Fox body, a rear end, an 8.8 with 355 gears. That's all Fox body. That's all right in my wheelhouse. The Mustang 2, I'll adapt and learn how to to go with that. It has, I'm not a super fan. These are real Hal brand. These are the Cobra 3s, so they're 17-inch. This has extremely small brakes in the front and the back, which is a plus and a minus. It's a minus because they're not, performance-oriented brakes. But you can run small wheels. You can run the 15-inch true knockoff Hal brand wheels, which are available today if you want this thing to look period correct, and that's actually what it was designed for. So, I mean, I like these wheels. The design is great, and they're 17s. I hate chrome. Chrome will not get you home. I'm not a chrome guy. So I'm going to have these centers powder coated based on whatever color scheme I end up going with. I am going to run the knockoff. It's not really like a hubcap. They're really nice. They're forged aluminum pieces, that cover the center cap there that look like the true knockoffs. So I'm definitely going to run those. And again, I'm going to have these powder coated to match my paint scheme. So under the hood, we've got, this kit was made for a 302, and the other drawback, the Street Beast kits were generally made for automatics. This is a Fox Body Mustang 302. I believe it's out of a 1987. Got a couple of performance parts on it, the valve covers, which are already chipping. I'm not real thrilled with these. I'd prefer if they were natural finish. I'm probably going to sandblast these. Got a built C4 in there. That thing is gone. History. I am going to run a standard. There's really no point in building one of these with an automatic unless you're disabled and you require an automatic. This car should have a 4-speed, 5-speed, what have you. Water pump, that's incorrect. That's a standard reverse rotation water pump for a serpentine system. So I've got to get a clockwise rotation one because all I'm going to run is obviously you're going to have crank, water pump, alternator, single belt like that. This kit, and again, the guy, he watches my videos. I think he has become a subscriber to my channel, so I don't, I want to kind of tread lightly and not, he was going to do things a certain way. I'm going to do things a different way. This car is going to look like it was built in 1966. I want it to look period correct. It's not going to have flashy paint. It's not going to have tons of chrome. This thing is going to look like it was built in 1966. Stand by. So I've inventoried all of the metal parts, and thankfully they are 100% intact. They're all still there. I can see I've gone through to label all these, and these parts are they're nicely made. There's a couple of things that Street Beast does that I don't care for, but I really can't. There's nothing I can do about that. For example, this is the trunk lid, and you've got your license plate light here, and you have room for a license plate. There's no room for a latch. The standard Cobras had a latch under here. What Street Beast does is they give you a remote release cable, kind of it's a help brand or I did it brand, whatever. And that's fine. I have to do that because physically there's no room for a trunk release for the latch there. That is what it is. Here, we can go to the back of the car real quick. A real Cobra, what they did was the trunk opening actually came down much lower than the trunk floor. If you see when they open it up, it's about 2.5 inches under into this pan here. So what Street Beast did is they just made it open up to the level of the trunk floor. Okay, that's fine. The other thing that I will not use is the gas cap. There's nice TIG welded aluminum gas tank under here that we'll see eventually when I pull this body off. But this puny little gas cap, is this a joke? Cobra's, and it's designed so this runs straight up from here to here, and you run this cute little thing. True Cobra, this is like 2.5 inches around or whatever, 3 inches max. And actually, this is very close to what the street cars ran. The street cars did not have the giant cap in the fender here. It was in the fender, but it wasn't recessed. It was a little cap like this, kind of with a different shape. And most people don't understand that. Almost all the replicas built are of the SC, the semi-competition cars. But anyway, that's what I want. So I'm going to have a big recess cut in here and Frenched in for the 5-inch round, aluminum fill cap. That's non-negotiable. It definitely needs to have that. The Street Beast kit is set up to run a Chevette or a Camaro steering column. And he did include a Camaro one, and you have to modify the Camaro steering column. That, you know, no offense intended, that's going in the garbage. I mean, you want your car to look like a kit car, start putting junkyard parts on it like this, like a tilt, cruise control, you know, variable speed wiper steering column in it. This car will not have any junkyard parts other than the engine, which is rebuilt, you know, aftermarket TRW pistons, so on and so forth. I'm going to use an I did it column and the proper steering wheel and everything else. I'm going to run true Smith's gauges. I picked up a set of Smith's gauges already with the proper semi-competition layout. Cool. It's going to be kind of a long-winded video. Another thing I'm not completely thrilled with is the doors are really heavy. There's a steel I-beam that runs through this door, and they're actually the company was pretty thoughtful in giving you side impact protection in your doors that most Cobras just don't have. And you know, with that, you need a standard kind of latch like this. The Cobras and the Replicas have a small latching system that mounts here. You know, it's a nice little chrome piece, and it was patented in the 19th century. That's the late 1800s, folks. The original Cobra latches were designed for carriages pulled by horses, and that's great. And I wish that, you know, that I could do that, but they're just not safe. They offer you, the latch is a huge safety feature for a side impact, you know, protrusion. You get hit by an SUV, that latch has to hold up. So stand by. All right, so I lost my train of thought. My kid got home with a bunch of his friends and they're making a bunch of noise in the driveway. So anyway, we're talking about the doors. Those latches, again, I'm not thrilled with, but the latching system that they use, even though to me it's very kit car-ish, has these stanchions here that bolt right to the frame and to mount your striker. So you've got that steel I-beam running through the center of your door. You got a proper latch, proper striker bolted straight through to the frame, and your hinges are immense pieces right here. You know, these are designed, I mean, they could hold a door that weighs 100 pounds. So again, so there's, you know, they were thinking about your safety in mind when they created this. So what else? I'm going to do flat black on the side pipes. Came with nice side pipes. And again, these were purchased after the purchase of the car. These did not come with that $16,000 plus shipping price tag. You got the headers over there. I have those coated as well. Like a jet hot coating in flat black, but I will probably wrap those as well. Problem being the headers fit perfectly and they shoot your pipes out here, but they don't mate up to the side pipes. So we're gonna have to do that. And there's a great series of videos out there, Pete's Garage, and he's building one of these Street Beast kits, and his videos are just, they're top notch. I mean, if you're building one of these kits, you know, particular Street Beast kit, his videos are the Bible. They are like gold. A couple other things. I'm gonna build these seats. They come with seats with a fiberglass shell that you see there, and they come with foam and vinyl to cover them, and you have to cut your own. You'll see back there, you have to cut your own pieces of wood to insert, and he's actually done this one here. The previous owner did, but seriously. And he even told me, he's like, you're gonna wanna get seats for this thing. These seats are, they're just not good. I don't wanna say junk or garbage, but sure, okay. I mean, at least, at the very least, if they'd sewed pleats into these so that they appeared like an original Cobra seat, I would run them for a while. But these are like, I mean, you find these in a, you know, like a cheap bass boat or something. I mean, just perforated leather. It's like the attention to detail with some of the ancillary parts that come with it like this is just, it's terrible. That being said, some of the aftermarket parts that Street Beast included are top notch. This is an IW English style windshield, and this is what is used on virtually every Cobra replica. This is a top quality, very expensive part. The radiator, again, that's from a Mustang 2. It is on a nice aluminum aftermarket radiator made in Canada. It doesn't have the fancy, you know, TIG welded tanks like we have today, but it is a big aluminum radiator. I am going to run it because it's, you know, no expense. To me, it came with it. You know, the overriders are aftermarket parts. Those are a beautiful part. The little winglets for the windshield, that's a very nice aftermarket part. I have the mirror around here somewhere, which is, it's over there with the bright green on it that you see right there. That's a Branda part, you know, which, and they're just top notch. There's an air cleaner, Cobra font air cleaner. I'm probably not going to run that. Curiously, the original purchaser of this elected to do gray carpeting, and Street Beast offered a bunch of options. You could get black, you could get gray, you could get tan, maybe a cranberry, and I'm kind of stuck because a new carpet set costs, to do the whole thing in the trunk, I think it's roughly $700. When I have that one, it's brand new, it came with it, so I may run that. We'll have to see about the quality of it. Looks pretty good. The door comes with door panels. Again, it's not bad. I've started amassing parts. I've started amassing tools. So hang on, stand by again. I'm just full of distractions. So some of the first things first that you're gonna need, I bought a good quality rivet gun and some rivets. A bunch of these parts are riveted on. I bought a riv nut, a selection of riv nuts and a riv nut gun, because I want to put together a lot of this stuff with riv nuts so that it will unbolt. Essentially works the same way as a rivet gun, only it's threaded for pulling those riv nuts. And these were inexpensive Amazon tools. The riv nut was kind of expensive. I think it was like an $80 tool, and the regular rivet gun was like a $30. And of course I can't latch that with one hand. Annoying. There we go. And I bought an Ingersoll Rand rechargeable body saw for cutting all those, the door openings, the exhaust openings, the side vent openings, what have you. I like the Ingersoll Rand rechargeable stuff. So the first order of business, the very first thing that I'm going to do, other than spend way too much money on parts, is I'm going to adapt the Jeep hoist here so that I can lift the body off this car. This thing is nice. So I bought some longer cable for it, the wire rope for it. I bought it longer, and it's a slightly thicker gauge. I have to move that post there. I completely overbuilt those. Those are LVLs, if you remember. And they got wood on them. They have huge lags going all the way through those pulleys. But I'm going to move that one up a couple spaces to disperse the load. And I'm going to put I'm going to use 2x4s and huge eye bolts in the trunk and in the hood. And I'm going to use that crank, and I'm going to lift the body right up, and I'll be able to store it up above here. And then, I could raise and lower it myself. So I'm pretty excited about the project, and I hope that you're excited too, and that you will follow along with me. I do appreciate your support of the channel. I hope I don't lose you because you were the Jeep faithful. This will be very, very interesting. If you like automotive related content and wrenching on cars, you will love this. Again, I appreciate your support. Please consider liking, subscribing, sharing my videos. I really appreciate it. All right, my friends, take care.